Good evening. Friday Night Rivals brings us to Woodham Middle School. Beautiful night for football and always fun when the Catholic Crusaders and West Florida Jaguars get together. With Chad Berlante, I'm Tommy Thrall. Chad, both teams 2 wins on the regular season so far. Catholic, though, coming off a big district win last week.
Big win against Florida High School of Tallahassee. When these two teams meet, you got an electric atmosphere. Both these teams 2 years ago, 1-2 in the state. Last year, West Florida got the best of Catholic. When these two rivals meet, anything can happen.
Should be a fun one tonight. There is a lot of talent on both of these teams. And for more on that, let's welcome in the third member of our broadcast team, Ricky Van.
Talking about scholarship offers, yes, there are several on both sides of the field, but we wanted to point out one player. I talked with Coach Harry Lees. He coaches for West Florida Tech. He said he wanted to point out a player, Tino Espinoza, number 14. He plays corner. He has 2 scholarship offers, one from the Air Force Academy and the other one from West Point. Now, his dad is in the military, and Coach Lee said he is so proud of him for his great grades and his great character. He carries a 3.9 GPA, so look out for him on the field tonight, number 14. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Ricky. Well, Chad, you look at both of these two teams, and both have had some mix-ups, I guess you could say, on offense. We take a look at our Ace Unlocks keys to the game. Let's start with West Florida. What does this offense need to do to get clicking on all cylinders?
Just execute that spread offense. It's one of the best offenses in the league when you look at how Coach Harry Lees runs his team. But just execute the big plays. You get your quarterback, Eric Antoine, back from a hip injury. That'll help. Just make the big plays when needed.
Now on the other side, how about Catholic?
Catholic needs to put a lot of pressure on the quarterback. Coach Seibert talked about this week. They have one of the best secondaries in the area. The problem is getting pressure. If they can force pressure on the quarterback, they can get an early turnover, take the crowd out of it, and get this road victory. Turnovers were a big key in this matchup last year on Friday Night Rivals. We'll see if it is once again. We're going to be back with kickoff next here on WFGX TV 35. Beautiful night for football, and we are ready to get Friday Night Rivals underway. Billy Harris set to kick it deep for the Crusaders. They won the toss today and elected to defer to the second half, so the Jaguars have Malik Jenkins deep to return as we get Friday Night Rivals underway. Just a perfect night for football. Very still evening tonight, and we're looking at just a great night. There's an onside kick by Catholic to start the game, and it looks like the Crusaders have it to start the game. We'll see. And they're going to, there's a flag down. It's going to be offsides against Catholic, so that negates the return. There's the flag laying on the far side of the field at about the 40-yard line.
Prior to the kick, encroachment on a kicking team. 5-yard penalty and re-kick.
So they'll re-kick it. They were trying to catch West Florida off guard early. But when you have a penalty, that kind of negates the whole effort there, doesn't it?
Well, we always talk about this game gets off to a good start, and in this case right now, it was already the fireworks happening, but the difference there, you could see up at the top of the screen, just a few steps ahead of the kicker, and unfortunate because they did recover that. That would have been a good start, Catholic, here on the road. We talked about taking this West Florida crowd out of it here at Woodham. But as we've seen, one play didn't count, but already the excitement in Friday Night Rivals.
So we'll see if they try it again. I can't imagine that you try to
probably
do it again.
not.
No, I don't think so anyways. Nope, this time Billy Harris boots it deep. And that one's going to go into the end zone for a touchback. Damon Johnson was the deep man. They kicked it his way, but it's into the end zone. And I'll tell you what, Billy Harris, he's a soccer player and pretty much always kicks it into the end zone. Now we get our first look at the West Florida offense today, and it all starts up front.
Yeah, looking at that offensive line, the guys on the outside, looking at Moultrie, Swift, Richardson, Newberry, and Williams having an excellent season, protecting whoever's back there at quarterback. This time it will be Eric Antoine getting the start, coming back from that hip injury, taking over for Hadarius Purifoy, one of the best players in the area.
Hadarius Purifoy was their quarterback to start the season. Antoine came out a couple of weeks ago and against Gulf Breeze, but he's back in there starting again today. They keep it on the ground up the middle, and they'll get 5 yards in the first down play.
as they run it. They'll run it a lot. Talking with Harry Lees earlier this week, he said that's not something that we have done in the past, but something we have to do out of necessity. That Catholic defense, it all starts in the secondary.
Looking at that secondary, Simeon Smiley having a great season, like you said. A lot of pressure there. They can coverage up in your face, and man, it's just up to that defensive front. Watch for Anderson Carter tonight, guys, up front to get pressure on the quarterback if Catholic's going to get the win.
On the ground, up the middle, they run it with Jalen Allen. He'll get a lion's share of the carries for this West Florida team. Mentioned earlier that it was Catholic that won the coin toss. Here's a look at that, presented by the Marines. Visit the Marines online at marines.com to inquire about signing up and enlisting the Marines. You can see all that they have to offer in addition to defending our great nation.
And you can see the players out there wearing pink and the referees in honor of Breast Cancer Awareness Month.
They run it right side, doesn't go anywhere on the third down and short play. They were looking for a couple of yards and got none. So it's going to bring up fourth down about a yard, and it looks like the Jaguars will be forced to punt here early. Yeah, the officials celebrating and recognizing breast cancer awareness. They have pink whistles that they'll be using tonight, and a lot of the players wearing pink socks. It doesn't look like West Florida wants to punt here.
No, it does not, and it looks like right now Antoine will stay on the field.
They run it up the middle, going right at Catholic. They're close to the first down. They needed to get to the 30. It looked like they were stopped short, but the way the officials from the sides are coming in, it's going to be really close, and they gave them the first down, it looks like. Well, they haven't signaled yet. We may see a measurement here. No, they gave them the first down, so it was enough on the ground up the middle.
And they had the mileage marker. They had the marker right there on the 30, so it was an easy way to look at it. But that was very close, like you said. Pretty good spot there for the Jags.
They swing it out right side. It's complete. Another first down play on the 1st and 10, and it's complete to the outside to Damon Johnson. And they used all 4 downs to pick up their first down and then throw it on 1st and 10 and pick up about 12 yards for another Academy Sports and Outdoors 1st and 10.
Johnson's a big play receiver. Watch him downfield. He has electric speed out there. Shedrick Robinson as well, 6'3". Great receiving core here for West Florida, and that was the first time you see them open up and use this balance attack.
And they bring Johnson in on the sweep. They don't give it to him. Instead, Antoine keeps it, battles forward, picks up about 5. They need to get to the Catholic 47 for a first down, and they got it out to their own 47. And it's going to bring up 2nd down and about 5, maybe 6 here.
Well, you can tell Eric's feeling better because you're not going to run a QB draw if that hip is still bothering him right there. We talked to Coach Harry Lees before the game. They feel comfortable with him taking reps during practice this week, and he looks comfortable back there in the pocket.
Jalen Allen, the lone setback, takes the carry, finds space, breaks through, has the first down, cuts the outside, needs a block, still free and on his feet, tackled inside the 20. Jalen Allen getting in space, chewing up huge yards, and West Florida deep into Catholic territory inside the Papa John's delivery zone.
And as we take a look at the Bob Tyler Toyota replay right here, great run, but a great block as well up in front. A good job there by number 2, Damon Johnson. And if you want to be an excellent receiver, you got to excel not only in the catching game, but also blocking for your running backs. And right there, good job by Johnson setting the pace for Allen.
Especially with this West Florida offense that now relies very heavily on that running game. Antoine hands it off. Nowhere this time for Allen to go after the big play one prior, but it'll bring up 2nd down. Don't forget, using promo code RIVALS will get you a couple of 2-topping pizzas for $7.77 each. That's promo code RIVALS at papajohns.com. It's 2nd down and about 10. They may have lost, I think they actually picked up just south of a yard.
Good job there by the offensive nice attack right there by Monty Purifoy, the outside linebacker, the senior who just took over that job this week.
Antoine looks to throw, does in the corner, has a receiver, and it is complete in the end zone to Javon Jackson. Jamin Jackson on the reception. Jaguars strike first. West Florida's on top by a touchdown.
Well, you can already tell right now, Tommy, this as we take a look here at the Bob Tyler Toyota replay. Perfect pass. Put it right where Johnson could only make the catch. Remember, in high school, you only need 1 foot. He had both foot, maybe even 3 steps in there. But 3 weeks ago when we had this, Eric was taking over, and it was his first game against the tough Tate defense. And you could tell that he was trying to figure out the offense. You can see on this first drive a lot more poise taking over for West Florida.
Taylor Lopez on to the point after, boots it through, and it's West Florida up by 7. Jaguars take an early lead. They march it down the field. On their first series, they had to use all 4 downs, but they converted and just cruised from there. 7-0 West Florida. Catholic gets the ball. When we come back, you're watching Friday Night Rivals on WFGX. Taylor Lopez will kick it deep for the Jaguars. 3 back deep to return here for Catholic as they'll get their first chance on offense.
And Tommy, if you're Catholic there, you got to think. You get an onside kick, you're offsides by an inch. Then on 4th down, West Florida decides to go for it in their own territory. Looks like you almost stop them. They pick up it by inches, and that's how they finish off the drive. So Catholic obviously is a team right now that has to feel like they almost got robbed.
How about Bryce Yates finding room along the sideline? Yates is out of bounds near midfield. Bryce Yates took that on the left side and almost like a receiver coming around on a sweep, brought it all the way to the left side and got a huge return for Catholic out close to midfield.
And you see Yates switching up field direction right here. Usually you stay on the side that you catch it. But a great job in that case. What you have to have is great blocks. And in front, Yates doing a good job. Great vision out there using those blockers. We're going to see here tonight so far already. We're just 3.5 minutes into this one. You can see special teams playing a big part.
They say he was out of bounds, the 45. So Catholic will start their first possession there. We'll take a look at that offense. But it's J.C. Carroll that leads him out on the field to start the game. They'll have 5 wide receivers here to start. They don't throw quite as much as they have in the past. They'll do some very unique things on offense. They actually use 3 different quarterbacks. It's J.C. Carroll to start. He swings it out right side, and it's complete to the outside, and already deep into West Florida territory. Wrestled down at the 40 is Jake Wright on the reception, and here's that Catholic offense.
Yeah, you talk about the quarterbacks, either J.C. Carroll, A.J. Yates, Simeon Smiley, but really, Abram Smiley. He is a freshman. Watch out for this guy for a long time behind that big offensive line. Ethan Watson, Blake Braswell, the guys up front, Coleman, DeVault, and Simpson doing a great job. This offensive line has really been poised, whoever is back there leading them at quarterback.
Again, it's Carroll. And this time his pass is batted down, falling on it at the line of scrimmage is J.C. Carroll, the quarterback, actually fell back on it.
And as a Patriot fan, I know that. That's the Tucker rule right there, so incomplete pass. But looking at West Florida's defense right here, really that linebacking core led by Kalia Davis, Victor Hill. We'll talk about some of the offers he has. Ricky Richardson, the guys right there. And then Tino Espinoza, the ball hawk in the back, leading the team with 4 interceptions.
In 5 wide, Carroll's the quarterback that when he's in there, you can expect that they'll probably throw it. He swings it out. Right side, the pass through the hands of Casey Warford, incomplete. He was covered up by Kalia Davis.
But watching this team, this Catholic team, watching Abram Smiley, this guy is a freshman. He's got good size, 5'10", or whatever 5'10" is, 5'10", 190 pounds, and he has elusive speed. Tommy, he's had 5 straight games of over 100 yards, and you have to watch out. He can break out the big play any day of the week.
Well over 800 yards on the year running the football. Carroll under pressure, dumps it off underneath to Jalen Fortune. Fortune down to the 30-yard line, short of the first down. It'll bring up 4th down, and they've got a reliable kicker, but you're so close to that first down marker, you're tempted to go for it here on 4th and 1.
Fortune's sometimes hard to pick up. He's that sort of the guy that you can see in the slot, 5'6". You get him the ball out in open space, and he can make things happen. But this is a big 4th down coming up here. Already West Florida getting one. Let's see if Catholic can as well.
And West Florida may have jumped. Flags fly. Who moved first is the question. Let's go down to our referee, James Cable.
Prior to the snap, encroachment, defense. First down.
And that will give Catholic the first down. So they were going for it anyways on 4th and 1. West Florida just gave him a gift and gave him the first down.
And the way that West Florida moved the ball on their first drive, were able to pick up huge chunks of yards. You would expect here, this game is not going to be won by field goals. There's going to be some points on the board tonight. So I think it's the right decision, Catholic going for it, trying to get 6 instead of 3.
They give it to Abram Smiley. He bounced it to the outside, got a good block. Smiley to the end zone, short, down at the 4. So Smiley with a big carry there. Out of the pistol, that's the read option. Carroll opted to give it to him, and Smiley found space.
And
Boy,
taking a look here at the Bob Tyler Toyota replay, you can see right now him and the defender are about the same, and then he just breaks away with that speed. There's a reason this guy's getting better and better. He's increased his workload and gained about 20 yards more per game. He's getting better, and he's only a true freshman.
Carroll now under center. I formation, gives it again up the middle, and Smiley fighting to the end zone. Again, he's short. Maybe got another yard. It's going to be second and goal from the 3.
You're going to see Smiley getting a lot of carries here tonight. His brother Simeon playing as well, a little bit bigger. He's the senior, but overall, Abram Smiley, a guy that has had over 800 yards through 6 games and is going to run the ball extremely hard throughout the game.
He's trying to run behind his blocker, William Jordan, but again, Smiley short of the end zone. That West Florida defense really holding up here. On first and goal from the 4, now it brings up third down and goal, still about the 3.
And this is where West Florida's linebacking core comes through. They get that big push. When you get down there in the trenches inside the Papa John's delivery zone, Tommy, that's when you load the box with 7 or 8 guys, your linebacking core gets that first hit because the offensive and defensive lines, they're just equaling each other out, and it's when the big guys come through. Great job there by Victor Hill.
And here's one of those looks at offense. Now they put Simeon Smiley in as the quarterback. He can run. He's a great athlete, wants to run. Smiley has the end zone. Touchdown, Catholic. And we're even. So each team scoring on their opening possession. And with the extra point, we'll be tied at 7. We talked about it. They'll use some different looks, and this time they went with Simeon Smiley at quarterback, and Smiley just carries it in himself.
And what a great block he got right up on the front side right there, coming through. This offensive line, as we talked about before the game, opening the hole there was Blake Braswell and Kaheem Coleman. Great job opening up and making it easy for Simeon Smiley to get in.
His 3rd rushing touchdown of the year, and now Billy Harris looks to even up the game at 7. Kick is through. So, touchdown. Catholic, they convert with the extra point. We're tied at 7, 5:40 to go, first quarter. It's going to be a fun night here at Woodham Middle School. You're watching Friday Night Rivals on WFGX TV 35. Already a pretty good look at what we'll see out of these two offenses tonight, Chad. West Florida in their first possession, pretty healthy mix of run and pass, and then Catholic, we've already seen 2 quarterbacks used.
Both teams 100%. Both teams able to score on their first drive. Both teams picking up key 4th downs as well. Good job converting. These teams are well coached. Coach Seibert as well as Coach Harry Lees. They've had to use 3 different quarterbacks on both sides this year, and whoever they use seems to pick it up real quickly. That's not an easy thing for a high school student to do, but they're doing it great tonight. And I'll tell you what, we've got a great game, great weather. When these two teams meet, you always get something special. Last year, West Florida got the best of them, but like we talked about at the beginning in the opening, Tommy, it was just 2 years ago. These teams were not only 1 and 2 in the area, but 1 and 2 in the state. And I remember sitting there driving home. It was before we began our Friday Night Rivals 2 years ago, and I remember listening to that playoff game in the car, right, and how crazy it was. This is always an electric atmosphere, and I expect nothing less here tonight.
Remember last year when we had this game, West Florida forced 8 Catholic turnovers, very uncharacteristic. It was still a fairly close game throughout most of that one, but that turned out to be the big difference. I don't expect to see those turnovers this year. They keep it on the ground. West Florida does on first down and pick up a couple of yards.
And so far, I don't want to use the word conservative, but you haven't seen too many crazy trick plays. I think the biggest play we saw was really West Florida deciding to go to the back of the end zone to that pass to Johnson. Outside of that, we've seen it really sort of a contain, not too much of a spread offense like we've seen in the past. But that's good when you want to try to get the early lead, and you also want to limit turnovers, as both these teams are working on from their last couple games.
Marquise Ross gets the second down carry, picks up 3 more yards. It'll bring up about second down and 4 or so, as they get about 6 on the first 2 plays. Marquise Ross and is the deep back after Jalen Allen got most of the carries in that first possession. He's in there, part of the backfield here for West Florida. They actually have 3 men in the backfield to go with their quarterback, Eric Antoine. Gives them some options. Again, it's Ross. Ross gets the first down and more across the 35 to the 36-yard line.
Great change of pace right there. You can go to Ross after you had a good run with Allen, and you're going to see this throughout the night. Allen, a guy that they like to nickname Tubbs out there. He can run up the middle. Coach Harry Lees gave him that name. And you go to Ross, you can go to Jones. It's one of those teams that you're going to see a number of guys getting breaks, giving them breathers, and a great run there by Ross.
2 wide receivers. Again, Ross on the ground, barrels forward to the 40. 4 yards on first down. It'll bring up 2nd and 6.
Good job there up front. The defensive line hasn't got enough credit against the run game this year, especially lately. Catholic had a little bit of a tough start when that tough loss to Navarre, 57-14, and then in their loss to Escambia. But after that, the last 2 weeks, this defensive front has really picked things up for Catholic. Guys like Anderson Carter and guys like Grant Wood, White, and Richardson up front. They've played a lot better, and that's something that we need to focus in on here tonight.
And up the middle, they have the first down across the 45. Near midfield at the 47-yard line. West Florida just continues to march the ball on the ground, keeping it with Marquise Ross. Vince Wibb's fan cam here tonight. That's the West Florida side.
Got a couple sweet selfies in there I'm seeing. Did you see that baseball game a couple nights ago when all the ladies were in there?
Oh, the Diamondbacks game, yeah.
Got to get those
sorority.
selfies
It was
in.
all for a good cause, if I remember. Well, the selfies weren't necessarily. The sorority was there as part of a good cause. They run it to the outside. Again, Ross has the first down. Finally dragged down near the Catholic 40-yard line before it was Brian Wright that drug him down.
And we talk about that yak stat, one of our favorites there as we take a look at Marquise Ross. He's a guy that yards after contact, he's one of the best in the area. He puts his head down, lowers it, and is not afraid of anyone. Defensive lineman, linebacker, cornerback, he'll go right at him. And Ross so far on this drive already picking up 25 yards, giving Allen a breather, and really helping Eric Antoine come back. The most comfortable thing a quarterback can do is know in the backfield that a lot of the pressure is taken off your hands when you have a great running game.
Trips in the backfield. This time, Allen's the deep back. And they fake the give. Instead, they want to throw it left side. They have Jackson. He's covered up pretty good. He made the catch, but he's out of bounds. It was a good pass from Eric Antoine. Just led his receiver a little bit too much to the sideline, and he couldn't stay in bounds before he made the catch.
Nice pass there over the top, but you can see just 1 foot out of bounds, inches right there. And another great catch by Javen Jackson, this time out of bounds. But you can see right now they're using that running attack to set up the play action. And watch out for Jackson, already a touchdown here tonight.
And they go to Jalen Allen here on 2nd and 10. He's stopped a yard behind the line of scrimmage, loses 1 on 2nd down. It'll bring up 3rd and 11.
Good job once again up front by the defense of Catholic, and they've been doing that all night. Jimmy Richardson, that's a name that you're going to hear throughout the broadcast, one of the leading tacklers for this Crusaders D, coming in, and he has switched his number, so if you're used to seeing him at number 60, he's now number 44 for the Crusaders.
And the number 60 actually ripped a couple of weeks back, so he's been 44 now for a few weeks.
And we've seen that before. We had a game a couple weeks ago where we were giving somebody else credit at quarterback for about a good drive until we figured out that his jersey had ripped off.
West Florida has to use a timeout here on 3rd down. 3rd and long coming up for the Jaguars. Both teams scoring on their opening drives. And we talked about this Catholic offense, something very unique that they do. They use 3 different quarterbacks. West Florida's used 3 different quarterbacks too, but it's more injury related. Good news for them, though. Eric Antoine's done a nice job filling in at quarterback. Cody Smith played a little quarterback a couple of weeks ago in that game against Gulf Breeze, but they're certainly hoping that they get a Darius Purifoy back soon. It looks like he will be back, maybe even next week against Bay.
Purifoy's a dynamic player, and you get a guy like that back, it changes the whole entire outlook of your season. So far, they've done well. Eric Antoine last week missed the game before the bye week with a hip injury, but he is back, and he's looking good. He looks fresh. That's the perfect week to rest and now get back. And I'll tell you what, he looks like a completely different quarterback than when we had him 3 weeks ago against Tate.
And they needed the off week, too. They were very banged up, so it's been good for this West Florida team to regroup with the off week. They fake the gift, throw it out left side. It's complete near the sideline to Javen Jackson, who's out of bounds inside the 30. And again, West Florida continues to move the football, picking up about 13 yards on third and long.
Perfect throw right there, and a good job by Jackson, not only holding on to the ball, but he took a hit from the defender coming in there. That was number 6, Jake Wright. So great job being able to hold on to the football and still make the play.
1st and 10. They hand off again. Allen goes nowhere. They were going for the strip. He was met right away at the line of scrimmage. And you could see Jimmy Richardson, we talked about him, or you mentioned him earlier. He was in there trying to rip the ball out of Allen's hands, but he wrestled him down instead, 2nd and 10.
Yeah, Richardson there is fighting against the offensive guard Josh Swift, and then he's like, oh, look what I found, as Jalen Allen running into his left shoulder, and the right place at the right time, and once again, Richardson making a nice stop.
On the sweep, here comes Jackson the other way. He barrels forward on 2nd and 10, gets 7 out to the 20-yard line, make it the 19. Javen Jackson had the big reception on the 3rd and long play. Here he eats up 7 yards on the 2nd down play.
I'm sure that was a conversation from the sideline saying, look, let's get the ball in Jackson's hands. The plays he's made already tonight, he's had key plays throughout the game, helped him on these long drives. So if you can get the ball to Jackson, it looks like a good thing tonight for the Jags.
They hand off, needing 3 inside the Papa John's delivery zone. They got that and more out near the 10 with Jalen Allen. You mentioned he's nicknamed Tubbs. He's trimmed down a little bit, but he's such a shifty runner, just he's hard to bring down, and that's part of the reason he has that nickname Tubbs. He was a bigger guy, lost some weight coming into his junior year, though, and he is much more stout this year.
He's making us feel bad being called Tubbs at 210, but I'll tell you, when you look at him run this year, he is a guy, his vision's a lot better. He's using those big offensive linemen up front, the blockers, and he's having a great season.
Jalen Allen on the ground again, picks up about 5 yards. He's near the 5. Now 2nd down and 5 to go. They need to get to the 1 for a 1st down.
And this has been a 5-minute drive. An excellent job. You just had a Catholic team that marched down the field and was able to score. Good job by West Florida saying, we're in our house tonight, taking 5 minutes off the clock and having a good chance to score here in the Papa John's delivery zone.
A couple of really good fun offenses to watch tonight, and they've been fun to watch early. Handoff again goes up the middle. This time they went back to Marquise Ross. Stopped very close to a 1st down. He's inside the 2 and still shy of the 1st down. It'll be 3rd down.
See if they get a playoff here with 7 seconds. The way they're lining up, it looks like they're going to call this one. Well, now we have an official's timeout. They're going to talk things over here with 7.8 seconds left.
Yeah, they want to measure. I would still think that that's a good possibility. That was the final play of the 1st quarter. We're tied at 7. This is only the 3rd drive of the game. Both West Florida and Catholic scored on their first 2 possessions. And this is the ensuing drive by West Florida after Catholic's touchdown that tied the game.
And there's only been 2 incomplete passes this whole game. It has been a very good night for both these offenses, like you said. And that just shows you that when you have quarterbacks that maybe haven't had a chance to play consistently throughout their career with the team, it's best that you keep that balance and you give them a breather with a good running attack. Both these teams with Smiley and Allen on the other side doing a great job here tonight.
They stretch out the chains. There you see maybe a foot shy or officiating crew today from the Southeast Football Officials Association. James Cable heads them. He's the referee tonight. Mike Bowen is the umpire. Angelo Tucker, Rob Kelly, Mike Black, Matt Covington, all part of the crew. Great to have this tremendous crew with us once again. We've seen these guys a few times this year, so it's great to have them once again.
They're very professional. They do a great job out there, and this is not an easy game to ref because, like you said, when you get 2 teams that have had a long existing rivalry, there's going to be a little pushing and shoving going on in the trenches, a little bit more physical play out there, and they've done a great job here in the 1st quarter.
It's 3rd down and a very short one. On the ground, Marquise Ross trying to spin to the end zone. He's in as time expires in the 1st quarter. An explosive 1st quarter of play that nets 3 touchdowns. And now West Florida needing the extra point to go back up 7.
What a run right there. Those are some moves that he can keep throughout his life. A couple disco dance moves right there into the end zone by Ross. And that was a sweet run. That's one you show your kids one day. See, Papa did have moves back in the day. Good job by Ross.
Ty Hardy on for the point after. Snap, hold, kick, and he missed that. Pushed it left. So West Florida missing the extra point. If this game continues on the path it's on, that could be a big missed extra point in this game. At any rate, it's West Florida up by a touchdown. They have the 6-point lead as we go to the second quarter. West Florida leading the end of 1. Watching Friday Night Rivals. West Florida using 15 plays to go 80 yards for their last touchdown. They're up by 6. Catholic gets the ball back. They scored in their first possession. This is only their second possession of the game. Both of these teams eating up 12 minutes of game clock on 3 possessions combined in the first quarter. So the second quarter begins with Catholic returning the ball, and they'll have okay field position. They'll start it from their own 32 on a short kick.
And we've already seen through 3 drives over 200 yards of offense here tonight. And not too many errors, not too many mistakes out there like you talked about on that 15-play drive. Really, the only pass that was off was that play from Javen Jackson on the sidelines that he was only 1 foot away from making a 20-yard play. So right now, both these coaches have to be pleased. Catholic gets another opportunity. Like you said, they want to have more than 1 possession per quarter, but so far 100% on their scoring drives.
That ball was thrown out of bounds, but still not a terrible pass. It was just a little bit off the mark. J.C. Carroll back in at quarterback. 5 wide receivers, typically a passing set. And they will throw. They swing it out left side. And I don't think that ball was caught. It was a low pass. And they'll say incomplete to the outside.
And it was a good thing it wasn't caught, because once your knees are down in high school football to Colin Ackermite, that would have been down and actually would have been a negative 1-yard play. So in that case right there, the incomplete pass doesn't hurt him. As we take a look here at the Bob Tyler Toyota replay, where Ackermite would have caught that ball, would have actually been second down now in 11. So at the end of the day, not the worst job to drop that one.
They did make it a catch, so it was a catch, and they did lose 2 yards.
Okay, well,
so
there you
have
go.
it. Second 12. That answers that. Back in at quarterback, we see Simeon Smiley running the offense again. And now flag flies. Abram Smiley, his brother, is the lone setback.
Prior to the snap, delay game on the offense.
There will be no red flag reviews either on the catches. That does not.
No.
No.
So they lost 2 on the catch. Now they lose 5 more on the delay game. So that's going to bring up second down and 17. Or second down and, 17. They're backed up to the 25-yard line. Simeon Smiley's out of the shotgun. Sends a man in motion. It's Carrick Teamer. Falls on the deck. And Teamer just has to fall on it. Back at, I'll say, at the 20.
Good job there by Vidal Scott right there coming in, the junior. He leads the team in sacks in that time, making a big play coming in there and pushing them back another 5 yards. So far, this West Florida team building on that long, methodical drive of 15 plays, and they've looked good, pushing the Crusaders back on 2 plays here, opening up this second quarter.
Simeon Smiley out of the shotgun, has 4 wide. This time he wants to run it. And does. Got his head taken off as he's hit at the 25. He's okay, but he took quite a hit. He was blown up at the 25. Now Catholic's going to be forced to punt.
Davis and Marino in on the tackle. Davis, a guy that leads the team with 57 tackles on the season, and then Corey Marino coming in there and making a big shot right there. Like you said, that was a big-time blow, but good to see Simeon Smiley getting up okay. Gaining a little yards, helping out the special teams and the punter here in this case right now, as it looks like Yates will be on to kick.
Ali.
Actually, that will be
Ali Majewski,
yes.
Punt. And it is a very short punt. This is going to go out of bounds at the 38-yard line. Very short punt. Didn't even get it to the first down marker.
Not too much wind out there. That one just got had a couple extra. You might want to check his sky miles in the morning. That thing was extremely high in the air, but didn't get too much on it right there. And now West Florida, who's 2 for 2 so far, will set up shop here in good territory at the Crusaders' 39-yard line.
Short punt by Majeski. Now it's going to bring up first down and 10 from the 39 for West Florida. They've been great on offense so far tonight. Now they have a short field to work with. They hand it off in the sweep. Cutting up field, Damon Johnson, and he's down close to the first down near the 30.
West Florida's winning the battle right now inside with their offensive line. On that one, that's a play that goes for negative yards if he doesn't get the right block. And Johnson right there had an opening. A great job on the outside coming up there for the West Florida offensive line, number 65. A great job there by Newberry as well as Taylor Williams with the block.
Eric Antoine's doing an excellent job facilitating this offense, and here's Marquise Ross trying to stay on his feet, but he had a defender wrapped around his ankles, and finally they were able to bring him down. Simeon Smiley with the stop.
And this is a totally different look that we've seen. Last time we had West Florida, we saw a team spreading the football. They were a throw-first team. You see that a lot of times at Harry Lee's offense, but right now coming off a bye week, a lot of times people just watch the games on Friday and they expect the same result, but having that week to rest, you can see they're a team right now that is playing with a lot more energy up front, and they're getting a good push, so why wouldn't you go away from what you're doing best, which is continue to run the football?
Eric Antoine keeps it on the ground, and Marquise Ross keeps it on the ground, runs it up the middle, and got enough for the first down. And again, West Florida able to move the chains. I talked to Harry Lees about that this week, and he said, you know, it's different because typically I'm a guy that likes to throw the football. Our personnel just fits a running style more. So we've mixed it up as the season's gone on, and now it really seems to be working out for him right here.
Well, and you do what also your defense allows you to do on a great run there.
Ground, Damon Johnson close to the first down marker and is down inside the 10.
And don't play to the other team's strength. We talked about it as we take a look here at the Bob Tyler Toyota replay. The defensive line isn't the biggest for Catholic up front. Their strength is that secondary. The guys have been making big plays, so why not continue to try to push the ball with the running attack? Don't play into the defense's hands, especially when you got the home field advantage.
Evan Juneau, the one that saved the touchdown for Catholic. We'll hear more about him later. They throw it into the end zone, too tall, incomplete on the pass into the end zone, but it was a little high for Damon Johnson.
And you're seeing the separation that the receivers, Johnson, guys like Robinson and Jackson are getting because of the running attack. They have to load the box with 7-8 guys, which you only have 3 guys. They have to get away from the nickel or coverage zone, and they have to play man-to-man coverage. And when you are allowing your running game to do as well and eating up so much clock, you forget about the passes, and even on that incomplete pass had a lot of room.
They hand it off again. Here comes the sweep, trying to turn the corner, reaching out for the end zone, and he's in. Javen Jackson with the touchdown.
Jackson doing it all out there, moonwalking his way in. Javen Jackson, a guy that nice juke move here. This was all him. He was stopped, and he goes, whoop! 2 guys right there making them both miss, and then using that speed to get to the corner pylon. What a run there by Jackson. Showing off the moves right there.
His second touchdown of the game. West Florida will go for 2 here after the missed extra point attempt after their last score. They throw it and incomplete. Again, they were looking for Jackson, but this one led him too much. So the 2-point conversion attempt failed. Now they've failed to convert the point after on their last 2 scores. 19-7. It's West Florida with the 12-point advantage. 7:59 to go in the first half. You're watching Friday Night Rivals on WFGX TV 35. Javen Jackson, 43 yards today, 26 of those getting to him through the air. Now a short kick by West Florida, and it's returned by Sean Stewart, the up man. He's out of bounds along the sideline, and once again, Catholic will start pretty good field position. Their last drive just went backwards.
And Stewart's a guy right there that we talked about earlier in the broadcast. He's really come on over the last couple weeks, has been one of the best players out here for the Crusaders. No need to panic right now. You're only down by 2 scores. You showed that your offense can move the football on that first drive, picking up 60 yards down the field. Right now, West Florida's doing a great job eating up clock, though. So defensively, you've got to find a way to stop them, especially in the running game. But quarterback-wise, the way that J.C. Carroll's run the offense here on the road hasn't been a problem tonight.
And they swing it out left side. The pass is complete to the outside. A.J. Yates is down inside the 35, the 33. Maybe a yard on that pass play to the outside from J.C. Carroll.
Yates is a guy that does it all. He's a guy you're going to see coming out of the backfield. He can play quarterback. He's their backup quarterback, and he's a guy that just does everything for this team. I actually just gave him credit on the punt, too, although that was not him. That was Majewski, but you're going to hear A.J. Yates a lot this season, and the good news for Catholic, he's only a junior.
He's one of their 3 quarterbacks that they'll use that all, according to Greg Seibert, get pretty equal time. On the ground, Abram Smiley tries to turn the corner to the outside, just can't find much room, still gets a yard. Ran much more than that, probably ran about 20 yards to pick up 2 or 3. It'll bring up 3rd down and 6.
He got a great block up front by the right tackle, Kaheem Coleman. The junior came up and set that block to allow him to extend that play another 4 yards, but it was the speed of Kalia Davis, 6'2", 230-pound linebacker, getting looks from a lot of D1 colleges. He is a heck of an athlete, and he showed his speed right there, able to run down a fast running back and not allowing the big play.
3rd down, 7. They throw it over the middle, complete. They got the 1st down. Catholic inside the 45 to the 46 on the completion to A.J. Yates.
Good job there by Yates, able to pick up where he needed to be for the 1st down. He got a yard past the marker before he put his hands up for Carroll to throw the football. And that's one of the first passes we've seen from Catholic Tommy tonight that hasn't gone horizontal, trying to go down the field, good enough for the 1st down.
Timeout on the field, 19-7. It's West Florida. The last 2 touchdowns unanswered. Catholic trying to drive, though, with 6:36 to go in the first half. You're watching Friday Night Rivals on WFGX TV 35. Just a great night for football here tonight. Catholic trailing it 19-7, but they're driving. J.C. Carroll fakes the handoff. Instead, swings it out left side, completes the pass to Carrick Teamer. He gets to the 50, tries to make a move, but he is hit and wrestled backwards. And they'll say he was stopped at the 49-yard line. They still got 3 yards on that play. It'll bring up 2nd down and 7.
It's a great design play right there to KT, as they call him, Carrick Teamer. But just that West Florida defense all over it. This is a very speedy secondary. Guys like Tino Espinoza and Miles Green in on the tackle, not allowing anything to happen. And once again, Catholic now trying to get the ball down the field, move it here on this 2nd down.
Teamer, one of several guys that plays on both sides of the football. Rolling out right side, J.C. Carroll swings it out, and it's through the hands and incomplete for Colin Ackermite.
Had an opening there. Wasn't a bad idea. Ackermite was about 6 yards away from the closest defender, but just a little bit out of his reach, and being a left-hander, that was tough for him to try to go over his back shoulder to make that catch.
Catholic started the season with Zachary Blocker at quarterback. He and Catholic parted ways. He's now enrolled at Escambia. Looks like he may be the quarterback there next year. They were already doing a multi-quarterback set here at Catholic. They were starting to work in some other packages. That's really created some personnel changes, but it's also kind of mixed up the offense for Catholic. And I think for a team that's done things the same way for so long, I think in a way it's kind of been something different for them to do, and it's worked out for them so far. Of course, they won their first district game.
Encroachment, defense, 5-yard penalty.
Now they get 5 more yards on the encroachment, as we hear that from James Cable, our referee tonight. And it'll bring up 3rd down about 2, but that's really kind of forced their hand, and they've dealt with what they've been given.
And this is a year when you go throughout the whole entire 2-a-days throughout the summer. You practice with one guy, which they did with Blocker. To have to try to throw Yates or Smiley or Carroll right into the mix and have them really pick up the offense isn't easy, but they're both juniors, Tommy, and they have some time to learn the book.
Carroll to throw. Now under pressure, gets rid of it. The pass falls incomplete. It's out of bounds. West Florida asking for the pass interference, but they are going to say that there was a receiver in the area. Carrick Teamer was there. Now, keep in mind, at the high school level, being flushed out of the pocket, that doesn't matter. Getting the ball back to the line of scrimmage, none of those are moot points, or those are both moot points at this level, as opposed to when you get to the higher levels. Was he out of the pocket? Did it get to the line of scrimmage? Was there a receiver in the area? Was there a receiver in the area or not? There was, so the pass is ruled incomplete. Now it's going to bring up 4th down and 2, and West Florida wants to use a timeout.
And that's a play call right there that you know you're going to go for it. You're going 2 more downs on that 3rd and 2, or you would more than likely see a handoff up the middle. So they're going to talk things over here. But like you said, West Florida right now, their secondary, we've seen them twice on Friday Night Rivals, and they can play right up in your face. They have a lot of speed, led by Tino Espinoza, a guy that we've talked about. This guy just can make it happen. He's had an incredible season, 4 interceptions. But all together, when you look at this West Florida team, they're ball hawks. They're looking for the big play, and they're not giving these Crusaders receivers any time here tonight.
You talk to other coaches about this West Florida defense, many will tell you that they think that the Jaguars defense is probably the best in the area.
You know, and you look back at their season, and if they had a Darius Purifoy to take the pressure off, because Eric Antoine hasn't been there the full time, and he's getting better. We can see him already in just 3 weeks since we had him last year, how much better he's gotten. But when you're 3 and out and you're putting the defense back on the field, it's a lot different. With the Darius back in the day, they could eat up the clock, as they have done tonight, which makes your defense look that much better. But like you said, this is one of the best defenses in the area.
Not a district game anymore between these two schools. It's formerly a district rivalry. 4th down and 2, Catholic. Throwing it, and incomplete. Batted down by Ricky Richardson. And the West Florida defense holds on 4th down, and they'll take over 1st and 10 from their own 46-yard line.
Great play by Ricky. He's got some looks from Coffeyville over in Kansas, and this is a guy that really has come to play this season. He's been one of their team leaders, this linebacking core in the middle. Richardson has 53 tackles on the season. Just great vision there. You could see right there, that's the type of play where you can't coach that. That's just a big-time play on a 4th and 2. Without him there, that would have been picked up to Ackermite for probably a good 10 yards.
You always hear terms like football IQ, instincts, things like that. That was an instinctual play. So West Florida back on offense. They fake the give and want to throw it deep. And it is intercepted. Catholic will get the ball right back. Simeon Smiley there to intercept it. And no surprise when you watch him play that he is just littered with college offers. And not just college offers. We're talking major offers, a lot from the Big Ten, Purdue, Minnesota. They're all on him, and that is a big-time interception there for Catholic. That ball was just overthrown.
Taking a look here at the Bob Tyler Tour to replay, and that's one of the positive things and advantages in high school of having guys play on both sides of the ball. Simeon Smiley, a guy that plays running back and wide receiver for this team and is their 3rd-string quarterback, but a guy that you could tell right there, that's not a play where a lot of defensive backs, even in college football, have the type of that know how to make that play. That was a play that a guy on offense, he looked smooth doing it, and I'll tell you, what a great play by Smiley.
And now we see him on offense at quarterback, tries to pitch it, the ball comes out. Somehow it's picked up by Teamer. Teamer's bringing it back the other side, and Teamer's going to be wrestled down back near the 10-yard line. Boy, that could have been really bad. It turns out as a bad play for Catholic, but he started running back near his own end zone, and you thought, oh, boy, he better get out of this, or they're really going to be in a world of hurt.
There is a penalty on the field, but that might be the best negative 15-yard play I've ever seen there by Teamer, and because that was close to being a safety. And it looks like we're going to have a block in the back as well.
It was close to being a safety on a drive that started at the 25. James
Legal
Cable.
block in the back on the offense. Penalties decline. 2nd down.
Yeah, when you lose 15 yards, most of the time the penalty is going to be declined. In that case right there, though, we were in the middle of praising Smiley for what an incredible interception. And, yeah, we should have just stuck with that one, because the second he got that first look, that wasn't the best of his plays on offense.
Matt Adams handles this Catholic offense, not pleased with what he's seen so far on their last couple of drives. Second down and a mile to go. They hand it off, and upfield with room on the ground. They run it for a handful of yards with Jake Wright. And Wright gets about maybe 10 yards back. That's going to bring up now third down and only a half mile to go.
And I'm wondering what's happening if we see him out on the field, but Abram Smiley has really been sort of taken out of this offense over the last couple drives. Tommy, this is a guy that's had an average of 175 yards per game over his last three, so a little surprised he hasn't been more involved in this offense.
Abram Smiley in the pistol. Back to pass. J.C. Carroll under pressure, gets rid of it. His pass is intercepted, picked off by Shedrick Robinson. He brings it back the other way. Robinson makes a cut, hit at the goal line and down at the 1. Shedrick Robinson with the interception, and a big return sets up another scoring opportunity for West Florida.
And just great vision right there. Robinson able to pull that one down, even taking the hit coming across from A.J. Yates and getting tackled. Good job coming across there, not giving up on the play. Was coming in and making that tackle, number 52, Blake Braswell. But you look at what we just talked about with Smiley on the other side of the field. Shedrick Robinson, a wide receiver, getting some good offers from college football teams out there. You're looking at another guy on offense that made a big play on D.
On the ground, up the middle, stopped short. First and goal from the goal line. Another drive deep in Catholic territory here for West Florida, this time well into the Papa John's delivery zone. Don't forget that promo code RIVALS. Net you a couple of pizzas, 2 toppings, $7.77 each at papajohns.com.
Better pizza, better ingredients.
Jalen Allen up the middle. He's in. Touchdown. West Florida. Their third unanswered score.
That one right there is a tough one to take if you're Catholic, because you've been able to move the ball offensively. That was the first real mistake we've seen here tonight from this Crusaders offense, and it gives your opponent a tough defense you've been going up against all night, and now you find yourselves down by more than 3 scores.
Ty Hardy back in to attempt the point after. Snap, hold, kick is through. Get the extra point. That is 19 unanswered now for West Florida. And they lead Catholic 26-7 with 3 minutes and 20 seconds to go till halftime. Chad, it really looks like Catholic just can't afford to overcome any mistakes. The way West Florida's able to move the ball on offense. Now, granted, they had 1 yard to go there, but they've really shown that they can move the football tonight. And Catholic, when they get opportunities like they had on their last drive, getting the interception, getting the ball back, they need to capitalize on those turnovers, and they cannot make mistakes.
Well, and you look at both these teams. West Florida looks like a team that is fresh coming off a bye. Yes. Catholic looks like a team that did make a trip to Tallahassee last week, got that victory against Florida High. But right now, you can tell right now they're just a little bit beat up when it comes to the physicality of these teams up front. West Florida's winning that battle here tonight. Like we said, it's a little bit to talk now about the running game. It might be a little bit too late, because being down by 19, you're going to have to start to spread the ball out as they have tonight. But a little surprise. I would like to see maybe, why Smiley didn't get more carries early on in this first half.
Of course, their hand was forced at the end of that drive because they had too many yards to make up, couldn't afford to keep it on the ground. They bring it the other way. Sean Stewart trying to do something with this return before getting forced out of bounds at the 46-yard line.
some of the other area games tonight. It's a busy night around the area.
A lot of good football games. I tell you what,
I'm
I'm excited about the Lindsay Bowl tonight.
There we go. Jay and his dad, Mickey Lindsay. That should be a fun Thanksgiving coming up here soon. Tate versus Pace, always a fun one. We had Pace last week. Milton against Crestview, Escambia, Navarre. Those are two powerhouses, as well as Gulf Breeze, who got a huge district win last week against Milton. Surprised a lot of people. Gulf Breeze taking on Walton, heading out there to Walton County.
Next week, we'll see those Escambia Gators, so that'll be a fun one next week. I believe that's Tate in Escambia. Handoff up the middle, goes nowhere with, I think that's Abram Smiley again on the ground, but Smiley with nowhere to go. Smiley, one of 3 brother duos that Greg Seibert has to work with and try to maneuver. You know how those brother dynamics can be. It's Abram Smiley. Of course, his brother is Simeon. They are 4 and 5 of 8 in that family. So there's still a few more Smileys coming up.
Can't yell, "Hey, Smiley," during practice.
And off again, goes up the middle, but nowhere for that play to go either.
That's why having the last name like Brilliante, I knew who was getting yelled at during practice. So there was no other like, I thought you meant the other Brilliante.
Yeah. Not just you.
It happened a lot too.
But you've got each brother dynamic seems to have a different personality. The Smileys seem to be pretty quiet for the most part. It's a quiet competition between the two. Then, of course, you have the Richardsons. Back to pass here, J.C. Carroll has time to throw. Now under pressure, has to scramble, gets rid of it. And coming back to make the catch is A.J. Yates along the Catholic sideline, and he's out of bounds with the first down into West Florida territory.
Saw signs of Doug Flutie out there on that one, escaping about 4 different defensive linemen there coming in from West Florida. Great play, able to make that play across the field, finding Yates. But I'll tell you what, J.C. Carroll making things happen. And if you're going to get back into a ball game, you have to do those kind of things. Sometimes you can drop the perfect game plan, but it takes execution. It takes those type of plays once in a while to get your team back into it. Great play, Carroll to Yates.
J.C. Carroll comes to the line under center. Power I, and they'll run it on the ground, up the middle. They stick with Abram Smiley here, and he got a couple of yards out of the 45.
And on the tackle, nice job there. Coming in was Kevon Livingston, as well as a good job by number 8, Miles Green, who already has 38 tackles on the season. You look at this defense for West Florida, and where to start is really the key. And you look at the secondary, the linebacking core, senior-led, and then that defensive front can put so much pressure. And they're so good against the running game. Like you said, this is one of the best defenses we've seen on Friday Night Rivals.
They fake the give. Now they go deep down the sideline, and it is incomplete. It looked like maybe Tino Espinoza gave A.J. Yates a little shove there in the back. Certainly wasn't catchable, but on pass interference, that doesn't matter here at the high school level. But at any rate, it's an incomplete pass. It'll bring up 3rd down and 9.
Well, I don't know. I've seen a couple of those 7'8" receivers that might have been, no, in that case right there, it would have been tough to catch. But, Tommy, on that play, there was some contact made, but I think the refs, from looking down on the field, it looked like they talked about it being incidental.
Could have been.
Whether, it doesn't matter how you slice it, that was very close to being PI.
3rd and 9. Carroll under center. Takes the snap, hands it off. Abram Smiley trying to find room to the outside, can't. And gets a couple of yards, but it's going to bring up 4th down. They need about 7 yards to go for the first down. It'll be 4th down and 7 from the 47-yard line with 57 seconds left before halftime here at Woodham Middle School, with West Florida hosting Catholic. Coming up at the half, we'll check in with Steve Nissom, the Prep Football Final Studios, see what he and Dan are working on for Prep Football Final, which you can catch after 10 o'clock news tonight on Channel 3. We've had a fun one tonight, but West Florida opening things up offensively. They've scored 19 unanswered in this game. Both teams scored in their first possession of the game. And West Florida has scored on their last 3.
And this is a huge play right here on 4th down, because you look at it with 57 seconds left, less than a minute to go before halftime. If Catholic can find a way to move the ball and even they have to get here probably another 15 yards to put it in range of Billy Harris. He did make a 55-yarder at one point this season, but you look at it, they're going to go ahead, it looks like, and punt. Little surprise, but
yeah, could be a fake. Not a fake. They go ahead, and Lujeski kicks it away. Gets a friendly roll inside the 5, but it's knocked into the end zone. A couple of Catholic players, I think, were both fighting for that, trying to get down there and try to down it inside the 5, but they punt.
Yeah.
And now it's going to be West Florida getting another chance on offense here. Instead of going for it, now they're going to make West Florida try to go 80 yards in just 47 seconds.
Well, I was going to say Billy Harris could make it a 2-possession game again if they got into field goal range to make it 16, but I think they're looking at it right now saying, you know, let's regroup. Let's go into halftime. They don't need any other. We just saw a team about 7-8 plays ago that allowed an interception, which gave West Florida this 26-7 lead. So right now at this point, I think you're just looking at a coach saying, okay, West Florida, they're pretty complacent right now to take this one into half as well.
Yeah, they're going to kneel it, and they'll go into halftime, but a flag flies.
Don't you love how that works when both teams are like, all right, we're ready to hit the locker room, and then
ready to go to the locker room. Sometimes you just wish the officials would let them. James Cable.
Formation on the offense. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
It was an illegal victory formation.
Be working on that knee in practice this week.
See if they have a legal downing formation here. And they take the knee. They'll have to snap it one more time. So West Florida will head into halftime with a fairly comfortable lead. It's been all West Florida in the second quarter. It was a 13-7 West Florida lead at the end of the first quarter, and now it's 26-7 Jaguars. And here is the final snap of the half. That'll be it. So we'll go to halftime. West Florida's on top, 26-7. Harry Lees has to be happy with what his offense has done, and then his defense has really stepped up over their last couple of possessions.
His defense forcing really this Catholic offense to make throws, arid throws they don't want to make, putting them in a lot of 4th down situations. This Jags defense showing up here in the second quarter.
Ricky Van is downstairs now with Ricky Van's downstairs now with Harry Lees. Oh, Ricky's not ready yet for Harry Lees. So, so far, you know, as we talked about it, an exciting first half of football. Okay, now let's go downstairs to Ricky Van, who's with Harry Lees.
Hey, Coach, Javen Jackson had a ton of rushing yards. What do you have to say about his performance?
You know, we've been really waiting for a breakout game. He had one against Cairo, and really nobody saw it because we were in Georgia. But we know he can do some things, and really to be able to stretch the field like he can, and he's shifty. He's not really just a straight line runner. You know, he can catch it deep, and he also he's got a little wiggle, and so we put him on some speed sweeps. And you know, we had a little success. Hopefully we can keep it going and just keep running the ball and then mixing the pass every now and then.
Now the overall performance heading into halftime, what do you have hope for the second half?
Well, I hope we keep the intensity up. I hope our defense, you know, really keeps getting after them, cut down on the mental mistakes. We still have those popping up, I see. And then, you know, offensively, we you know, as good as we've done, I really feel like that one turnover, that's my fault. It was a communication deal, and, you know, we just got to get rid of that because, you know, we're trying to work to get better.
Okay, good luck, Coach. Thank you. Back to you guys in the booth.
All right, thanks a lot, Ricky. He's got to be happy with that offense. They've looked good so far. 26-7, West Florida leads Catholic. We're at the half. You're watching Friday Night Rivals on WFGX TV 35. Jaguars with 3 unanswered touchdowns leading Catholic 26-7. We are at the half and a beautiful night for football. Welcome inside our halftime report, brought to you by David's Catfish House and B&C Nursery. Ricky Vans back downstairs. What's up, Ricky?
Hey guys, we're with Bree McDaniel. She's the captain of the cheerleading squad for West Florida High School, and So, how's the game going tonight? You all having a good time?
Yeah, it's going pretty good. We're winning right now, so it's great.
Yeah, absolutely. And you all compete. I mean, you guys do football games, but you also compete. So tell us a little bit about your competition.
Well, we have like about 5 competitions each year. We go to like travel to Gulf Breeze or like Fort Walton Beach. Then we have regional, which is in Jacksonville usually, and then state, which is in Orlando. And we compete for like 2 days. And
wow, you compete against the whole state?
Yeah, the whole state.
Okay, so you guys did really well last year. Are you hoping to do really good this year as well?
Yes, we're actually hoping to make finals this year, which is the top 4. So that's our goal this year.
Okay, well the whole cheerleading squad is not with us, but we have the captain, so she's going to show us one cheer. If you're at home, get off your couch, and we're going to do a cheer. All right.
Florida Jaguars. West Florida Jaguars. West Florida Jaguars.
Let's go, Jaguars! Let's go, Jaguars. I like that one. That's my favorite one. Yeah. All right. Well, I think actually Tommy has better coordination than I do. So why don't we send it back up to the booth and you can do a dance for everyone.
Yeah, I don't have any dance moves. I can promise you that. I don't think Ricky's making the West Florida cheer team anytime soon.
We're trying to get people in here to watch us on Friday night, so we're not breaking anything down but the game.
Not going to do any dancing, trying not to scare anybody away. Anyways, right now it is West Florida on top. They have the halftime lead. We'll hear from Steve Nissom when we come back. Plus, we'll take a look at our Alexander Shinara A-plus athlete. That's still to come. We're at the half. It's Friday Night Rivals on WFGX TV 35. You're watching the halftime report here on Friday Night Rivals. It's brought to you by David's Catfish House and B&C Nursery. Great football game so far tonight. West Florida owned the second quarter. After it was almost a draw in the first quarter, West Florida scored literally in the closing seconds of the first quarter. And now Catholic in the second half is going to need to come out with a little fire. They'll have the ball to start the game in the second half. Fun one tonight, always a good rivalry game when these two teams get together. But some other big games in the area tonight, including the Lindsay Bowl and several others. With more on what you can see tonight and a preview of what to expect on Prep Football Final, let's go into the Prep Football Final studios with Steve Nissom.
Some major history headlines Prep Football Final. It's father versus son with Pace hosting Tate. A rare and special deal tonight. Mickey Lindsay in his 25th and final season as the head coach at Pace. His son, 29-year-old Jay Lindsay, in his first season as Tate's head coach. Incredible moment for the family. A lot of emotions. Of course, there's a football game to be played, and we'll have lots of coverage on the Lindsay Bowl. In terms of the best team matchup, we think that is Escambia at Navarre, a rematch of last year's playoff opener, where the Raiders made a second-half push to win at Emmitt Smith Field. The Gators hoping for some payback. They are 4-2, lost last week through a very difficult schedule, though. Navarre, they come in the highest-ranked team in the area. They're 6-0 and ranked number 5 in the state in 6A. We expect a great battle tonight. Gulf Breeze, coming off a big win at Milton, makes the trek further east to Defuniak Springs. Very intriguing battle against a Walton team that is undefeated and ranked 8th in Class 4A. The Dolphins are in 6A. Two good 1As going at it in Baker. The Gators hosting South Walton. Baker's 20-game regular season win streak snapped by the Seahawks last season. They'll look to turn the tables on them. And in Alabama, some big region games. Flomaton ranked 9th in Class 2A, hosting Mobile Christian ranked 10th. Both teams with identical 5-1 records. That's the battle for second place in that region. And T.R. Miller up to number 4 in the state in 3A, out to keep their perfect region record going against Geneva. Our spotlight story on an individual player for the first time this season, Niceville wide receiver Eli Stove. He's one of the top recruits in the nation, ranked 9th in the nation at receiver by Rivals. Eli owns offers from pretty much every major college program, and he's committed to Auburn. Crazy speed, runs a 4.45 40, but has really made the most of his skills, going from great athlete to great football player. Strong work ethic, very soft-spoken guy, but still has a big impact on his teammates. His family moved into the area just before his 9th grade year, and he has been a treasure for the Eagles. Eli's also a very well-rounded guy, and we'll tell you what else he's into in the spotlight. Plus, we've got a very impressive scholar athlete from Baker. It's all crammed into Prep Football Final coming up at 11 on Channel 3.
Thank you, Steve. A lot to look forward to tonight in that one. Mentioned earlier, we'll get to meet our A-plus athlete tonight. We mentioned his name once already this evening, but Evan Juneau had a chance to catch up with Ricky Van earlier tonight for our Alexander Shannara A-plus athlete. Ricky.
We're with our Alex Shannara A-plus Scholar Athlete of the Week, Evan Juneau. He plays for the Crusaders. Their safety. He has a 3.7 GPA. Smart in the classroom and great on the field, so we want to award you with the plaque.
Thanks, Evan. Congratulations.
I just want to thank my parents for always making me do better in school, hopefully go to college. So, and also thanks to WFGX for this amazing award and maybe some money for school.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Get some money. Go to college. Yes. So back to you guys in the booth.
All right, thanks, Ricky. Not just a great football player, but also a great athlete. We'll have more from Woodham Middle School on our halftime report here on Friday Night Rivals. It's West Florida with the big halftime lead on WFGX TV 35. (26-7). It is West Florida with the halftime lead. You're watching Friday Night Rivals on WFGX TV 35. And let's take a look at some of our halftime numbers. Right now it is West Florida. You would figure offensively kind of dominating. Their time of possession close to even. They've edged them out by a couple of minutes. But you look at the score, and then you look at the rushing yards. And that's the story.
Really has been the story. We talked about it on the ground. Jalen Allen and Marquise Ross have done a great job balancing this attack. Time possession, you look at turnovers and penalties, about the same. That's not the difference. It is that running game that's been the difference here early on. And when coming into this game, we talked about how elusive Abram Smiley had been, the true freshman over there for Catholic, who had 800 yards over his last 6 games, averaging over 125 yards per game. But it really has been the balanced attack, that big offensive line up front from West Florida that has been winning in the trenches here tonight.
So it is 26-7. Let's take a look at some of the highlights from the first half. A lot of those for West Florida, but you see at the start of the game, each team scored in their first possession of the game tonight. Catholic tried to use a little deception with an onside kick, but an illegal formation kept them from getting the ball to start. Instead, it was West Florida. That could have really changed the outlook of this game had Catholic been able to recover.
It could, and this was the first touchdown here to Jackson in the corner. But before that, they picked up a huge 4th down and able to knock the extra point through. But looking at Jackson, he's had an incredible game. They found out early they needed to get the ball in his hands, whether it was running from the sweep or getting it out into his hands out there on big plays over the top in the passing game. But Catholic's been able to move the football. As you can see, special teams here tonight. That was a great return there by Bryce Yates. And then breaking off, this was their one big run of the game there from Smiley. This was their first drive. Looked good. Moved the ball down the field, 50 yards into the end zone was J.C. Carroll. But quickly, West Florida struck back. Once again, Jackson making a great catch as he has all night long. One of the players that's going to be up for our player of the game. And right there, another great run. But you can see they find a way to get the ball into Jackson's hands any way you slice it. Another great play here. Using that read option sweep has been key here tonight for West Florida.
One of the things I think, too, that you look at what a nice job that they've done is they've been able to use and lean on 2 running backs tonight. Jalen Allen and Marquise Ross have both done a good job eating up yards on the ground. Plus, they've used some misdirection. That was the one Catholic turnover there.
That was the one play that Harry Lee said that was his mistake, trying to go over the top. Outside of that, they've really been flawless here on offense.
Then Shedrick Robinson with that interception, which set up their final score of the half from the goal line. And once again, it was Jalen Allen on the ground. That was his only touchdown of the game. West Florida leads at 26-7. We're at the half. You're watching Friday Night Rivals, getting ready for the second half on WFGX TV 35. It is 26-7. West Florida has the halftime lead, and downstairs with Greg Seibert is Ricky Van.
The second half, we've got to be a little more physical up front. You know, I feel like we can still, run the football a little bit. Going to try to spread them out, and see if we can play a little pitch and catch, down the field, try to get back in this.
Who do you hope specifically steps up?
Well, I really hope J.C. Carroll, makes a few better decisions in the second half. Wide receivers need to squeeze it a little better. We dropped a few balls in the first half I thought that, could end up being big plays. But really, I think if that crew and defensively in the box, we got to try to slow their run game down.
Okay. Thanks, Coach. Good luck.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Back to you guys in the booth.
All right, thanks, Ricky. Greg Seibert. That St. John's University cap that he wears, that's where he went and played college football. Of course, he downplays that a little bit. Says, well, I was there. I was technically on the team, but Greg Seibert's done a tremendous job. He's been with Catholic now for several years and really runs a great program over there. His team's always very disciplined. He takes pride in the type of men that they become long after they're gone. He's very proud of a lot of the accomplishments of his former players, and he's really done an excellent job there.
Both of these teams might not have the longest traditions here in the area, like you look at some of the Pine Forest PHS teams, Escambia, but when you look at both these teams from an athletic department and what they've been able to do over the recent years, West Florida, that softball team winning the state championship just last year. You look at Catholic, #1 in the state, not only in football 2 years ago, but their baseball program with Richard LeBounty, national champions. And it is just, when you look at both these schools, not just in football, but their athletic programs really have been a lot of, they've had a lot of incredible teams in every sport.
Some deep state playoff runs recently for Greg Seibert and his Crusaders. And, of course, you remember Harry Lees and this West Florida team. Last year they were district champs. So,
and you watch Harry Lees coach, and I'll tell you what, I've had a chance to call a lot of games, some college football games, and looking at a chance to watch different types of styles of offense. Coach Harry Lees is a guy that I can see. We've seen guys like Gus Malzahn and Hugh Freeze jump from the high school level into the SEC. I wouldn't be shocked 4 or 5 years from now to look at a guy like Harry Lees and see him in college football. The dynamic of the way he runs his offense, it is really taken this West Florida team to a whole new level.
We're getting ready for the second half. Catholic will have it to start off. And Taylor Lopez is already measuring off his kick. Nobody else is out there right now with him, but Taylor Lopez is all marked off and he's ready to go.
Best onside kick right now. Nobody's looking.
He's standing on his hands on hips right now, and he's just waiting for everybody else to come out there. There we go.
He says, come on, 10 guys.
Hey, guys, we ready? Hey, guys, where'd you go?
Anybody? Any takers?
It is West Florida with the lead. They scored 3 unanswered touchdowns, beginning with the final play of the first quarter. They added 2 more, in fact, taking advantage of a Catholic turnover deep in their own territory. Here we go. Second half is underway. It's a short kick, and whistles blow the play dead.
Well, the second half starts exactly as the first half did, with a penalty on the opening kick.
And it's at the same spot, too, out at the numbers on the 40-yard line in the Catholic sideline.
Deja vu.
Our referee is James Cable. And you'll see that the officials... Well, where'd James Cable go? He didn't make that call. The linesman came in and made the call.
He said, keep me out of the television.
He's all the way back at the goal line. He says, I just take it. Oh, my.
Second half will eventually start here.
We're going to start it right now, I have faith. Here it comes.
Maybe.
That time, everything looks clean. They kick it back at the 30. It'll be returned by Sean Stewart. Stewart makes a man miss. Angles across the 40. Stewart across midfield. Out of bounds, the 45-yard line. And he was forced out by Tino Espinoza.
Great job there by Stewart. Yeah, great start here to this. We finally got it rolling, and Stewart, a great job. Sean Stewart, the 5'11 senior, doing a great job here. Not always easy when you get a squib kick like that, because you still have to be able to have the guys right up in front of you on special teams. Gives you less room to work with, but Stewart making it look smooth there. Smooth operator up the field there for 25 yards, and Catholic will now start the second half in West Florida territory.
Great field position if they want to get back in this game. An early score would certainly go a long ways. J.C. Carroll back at quarterback. He's handled most of the snaps tonight. We've only seen 2 quarterbacks. We're told they use 3 pretty consistently, and they stay on the ground. The ball comes out, and Ricky Richardson saying that he had a strip there before the play was blown dead, but Abram Smiley is stopped out of the 40. Still picked up 6 yards in the first down play.
And that's one thing Coach Seibert talked about, getting the ball back into Smiley's hands. He's been really the offensive catalyst over the last couple weeks as the Crusaders have been building and getting back to their winning ways. But Smiley's going to be used here in the second half. You look at the score, 19 points. No need to panic. Just try to chip away here and go back to your best player on offense.
And they throw it incomplete. That went right through the hands once again. We talked about drops earlier. I guess we didn't. Greg Seibert talked about drops. Colin Ackermite has a drop there. Incomplete.
And you look at this is a lot of respect to the secondary of the Jags, because we haven't seen Catholic try to really attempt anything deep down the field. And that's saying, you know what, we're going to try to get as much as we can as quickly as we can. A lot of screen passes, a lot of quick hitters, but they're not trying to take anything downfield because of how good these corners are for this Jaguars defense.
J.C. Carroll takes the snap and pitches it back. And again, Abram Smiley trying to get to the sideline. Can't find much room. Maybe got a couple of yards. It's going to bring up another fourth down for Catholic inside the West Florida 40 at the 39. Fourth and about 3 yards here.
Good job there by Adarius McWilliams, the defensive end, a guy that had a couple sacks last year as a freshman, coming in as a sophomore. He really caused that play to get blown up, him as well as Javante DeLoach. They were all over that, reading that play right from the get-go. And once again, you can see this West Florida defense. They have great vision. They have a great eye for the ball, watching guys like Zach Thomas make careers out of that in the NFL. You just watch West Florida guys out here, and they're always all over it, especially this linebacking core.
They'll punt. And it's a rugby-style kick. Yuski's punt bounces inside the 10, down near the goal line. It'll be down at the 1. Great punt. He had a rough one earlier in the game that went about 12 yards. This one down inside the 1. Catholic's defense will have a chance to pick up some points here if they can get a stop in the end zone.
And that's 2 punts there from Catholic inside West Florida territory there, but they're saying, you know what, we're going to trust our defense here, back them up, and try to force a turnover. We talked about the keys to the game, the Ace Unlocks keys to the game. Put some pressure up front, allow this good secondary to make one of those plays. So they're saying, you know what, we're going to find a way to score. It's not just offensively. Maybe our defense can come up with a huge stopper, maybe even a pick 6.
Always a little unnerving when you're starting a drive with your quarterback in your own end zone. He hands it off up the middle, and they're able to get it out of the end zone on the first down play with Jalen Allen.
Good job in on the tackle there, Grant Wood, as well as coming across there for Catholic, a guy we've mentioned throughout the game, Jimmy Richardson. They're doing a great job up front.
They got 5 yards right off the bat. We'll call it 4, and it'll bring up second down and 6. Inside the 5, still deep in their own territory. You know you're deep in your own territory when you can get it to the 10 and just barely pick up a first down. They swing it out right side. This will open up some space. It's complete to Damon Johnson. He has the first down and then some. About 16 yards to Johnson out past the 20-yard line.
Brings up an Academy Sports and Outdoors first down as we take a look here at the Bob Tyler Toyota replay. A lot of respect for the receiving core, how much room that Johnson has to make that play. And I'll tell you what, so far tonight, Johnson as well as Javen Jackson and Cedric Robinson have just come up with big play after big play.
They hand it off. Jalen Allen bounced it to the outside, turns the corner. Allen has the first down and is down and out of bounds on the Catholic sideline at the 33. Jalen Allen with another big run.
Well, for a guy nicknamed Tubbs right there, he made everybody look like they were a lot slower than he was out on that field. He broke that corner, and that was all him. That was just an athlete making a heck of a play to pick up the first down. 11 yards on the carry, and now for the game, Allen over 100 yards.
So it's first and 10. Antoine's out of the shotgun. Again, Allen on the ground, dives forward to the 35. Not much on that play, but they got a couple. Didn't look like it was designed to pick up a ton, but it's going to bring up second down.
You know, but you got a 19-point lead here. On a play like that, some people might say it looks like a botched play, but eating up about 30, 40 seconds off the clock instead of trying to maybe pick up an extra 2 yards but get hit by a defender coming across and losing the football. Sometimes plays like that are good for your team, especially when you got the lead at home.
They fake the give. Now off to the races. Eric Antoine puts his head down across the 50. He's hit and dropped by Evan Juneau. Antoine that time picks up the first down with his legs and plenty more into Catholic territory at the 47. He didn't really have the ball protected, but he did the job.
I don't run often, but when I do. Looking at Antoine right there, look, when he finally had his opportunity to show off those skills, and you know he's laughing in the backfield because guys like Allen and Ross have had huge runs all night long. Antoine said, let me get my piece, and breaking off 20 yards right there.
Antoine hands off again. Jalen Allen met and still on his feet and now wrestled back at the 45, forward progress to the 43.
And I know Antoine's coming off that hip injury. You want to keep your quarterback healthy. That's one of the keys. Everybody talks about, why don't you run quarterbacks more? Well, you don't want them leaving and having the backup quarterback coming in asking, how many fingers am I holding up? And the guy says 9. You know, you look at this team out here, Antoine does have the speed, but you have enough running backs and that offensive line that you trust. So in this case, just continue to feed the ball to the guys that you've trusted all season to get you here.
Antoine to throw it, and does. The outside has a wide open receiver. It's caught by Javen Jackson. He slid and made the catch on his knees out near the 40 to the 41, and that's going to bring up third and about 2 yards. He was all by himself. If he could have stayed on his feet, he had one man to beat for the end zone.
He was disappointed in himself that he went down there, but the number one job is to secure the ball, and he picked up 8 yards on the play, so he's disappointed he didn't break that for 6, but overall it's still a nice gain for his team.
This time it's Marquise Ross in the backfield getting the carry. Nowhere to go on the third down play. It'll still be fourth down now with 4 yards to go.
And we've seen Catholic in this situation a couple times punt and give West Florida tough field position. Let's see what West Florida, and we've seen a coach in Harry Lees. He's an aggressive coach, and I think in this case right now is going to decide to use that team that he's trusted all night long that has 26 points. They will stay on the field here in fourth down.
They haven't had to punt yet tonight. Antoine out of the shotgun, fakes the give, throws. It's complete to the outside. They've got the first down. That breakaway speed for Javen Jackson down the sideline into the end zone. Touchdown, Jackson. West Florida stretches the lead further.
And we take a look here at our Vince Wibbs fan cam. The fans excited, and as they should be right now, building out to their lead at this point, pending the extra point, 32-7. But you can see the way that Antoine's operating this offense. Don't take anything away here. Great job by Jackson, able to break 2 tackles. But I'll tell you what, Tommy, this is a quarterback that feels comfortable. That was a fourth down play, and he was smooth under pressure there, getting it out quickly to his key receiver and letting Jackson do the rest.
Now the point after. And it is good for Ty Hardy. West Florida stretches the lead even further. 33-7 now. The fourth unanswered touchdown for the Jaguars. 6:10 to go, third quarter. This is Friday Night Rivals on WFGX TV 35. Catholic looking at an uphill climb right now. Trailing it big. 33-7 in favor of the Jaguars. Ball's going to bounce and be bobbled and picked up by West Florida. Miles Green will take it to the house. It was bobbled by Jake Wright. Miles Green picked it up, took it in. That wasn't Jake Wright that bobbled it. Instead, Simeon Smiley couldn't get a handle on it after it bounced.
Well, Miles Green just got the earliest Christmas present we've ever seen right there. That was about as easy as it gets. Look what I found popping up. But being at the right place at the right time, putting the pressure there on Simeon Smiley. But that's what these kicks, we've seen a lot of these short pooch kicks here tonight, Tommy. That's what it does. It makes the returner have to try to get the ball under pressure, and we've seen this now a couple different times. I'll tell you what, though, West Florida, all of a sudden, this game started off 7-7. Both teams moving the football. West Florida has just exploded here at home, now leading by 33.
Breaks like that can really turn a game around in a hurry. We saw it last year in this game at Catholic. Those turnovers really flipped the script on that game in an instant, it felt like. I mean, they were bang, bang, bang with those turnovers, and things really changed there in that contest. And now you look at the way this game's gone, that the interception earlier basically might as well have been a pick six. They returned it to the goal line. They later went in for the score. This one, I mean, it's in a way, it's almost like a turnover for Catholic. Simeon Smiley just couldn't get a handle on it. Miles Green could and ran it in pretty easily for the score.
And this is where the coaches just say, you know what, guys, just forget about it. That's all you can. At this point, down by 33 as we're hearing the Jaguar roar sounds right now. That was pretty cool. Got a little scared here in the booth for a second. Don't like 300-pound cats, but I think when you look at the difference here is West Florida has not made those mental mistakes tonight. And over the last few times, Catholic has just really, once again here, let's see if they can jump on this football, but they just got to get their mental focus together here. It's been pretty tough for them over the last two quarters.
Sean Stewart falls on that one. They'll be back in district play when Catholic gets back at it next week. They have a big homecoming game against Taylor County next Friday. And Greg Seibert will tell you, and he's very candid about this, hey, we know that our non-district play is tough. We understand that. What can we do within our own district? That's their concern. They already won one game. They've at least assured themselves a share of the district title. They win one more against Taylor County, and it's their only other district game. This pass is tipped, but still it's going to fall incomplete. Bring up 2nd and 10. But they know if they win that one against Taylor County, a game I think they feel they should win, they won't come right out and say, yeah, that's a game we feel we should win. But if they win that one, they've won their district. They don't care how they do in the non-district schedule. Doesn't matter. They're in the playoffs. That's the goal of this team, to go to the playoffs. Be ready for their competition that quote-unquote matters.
And we talked about it because having to use the different quarterbacks you're learning throughout the season. We saw a team early in the year with West Florida that looks completely different this week. Remember, we were talking about execution. Antoine was missing those throws that you need to make in order for your team to have success. This week, he's made every good throw. The only throws that he's had that haven't worked out, Tommy, have been two throws that Jackson were just inches from the sideline and making a catch. He's throwing over 80% completion right here tonight. But you can see, on the other hand, Catholic right now, they've been just feeding Abram Smiley the ball and expecting to win games. Now you get a big defensive front, guys that are in a bigger district than you, have more size than you, and they realize, look, we're going to have to find a way to get a balanced attack. Because if we don't, it's going to be a long season when we play teams that can be more physical than us in the trenches.
3rd and 10. Play is blown dead.
But guys like J.C. Carroll and A.J. Yates, they're still juniors. They have some time. And like you said, when you get into your District 1 3A play, that's when it really counts. And you can tell here tonight.
Prior to the snap, encroachment, defense, 5-yard penalty.
That they just, at this point, we're speaking the truth. It's 40-7 right now. They're probably not going to come back and win this one. But still work on your offense, because every play you do in regular game time mode is going to help you for when you do get up against your team next Friday and get set to go.
More flags on 3rd and 5. Whistles blow this play dead. But I think
prior to the snap, encroachment, defense, 5-yard penalty.
So Catholic recently has had trouble moving the ball, but West Florida has moved it for them, and now they're very close to the first down, and 10 yards and penalties will give the Crusaders a first down.
And we'll see here if Catholic tries a few passes downfield. Most of their game has been horizontal, quick hitters. They haven't tried anything more than 20 yards down the field yet. But you can see right now, West Florida's not giving them much time loading the box here with 7 guys.
And under pressure, gets rid of it. Carroll's pass, high tip, and still hauled in. It's complete to Casey Warford down the sideline and out of bounds to the 20. It was tipped, but Warford was there all by himself, just waiting for it to come down.
I'm sure we're going to see that play again. And that was a play as we take here a look at the Bob Tyler Toyota replay. Whoop, off the head of one guy, off the face mask, and right into the hands, waiting for it. Good job there, being at the right place at the right time. Making the play there for Catholic was Casey Warford.
A.J. Yates probably should have caught it. He had to jump for it, but it went through his hands. Then Tino Espinoza had a shot at the interception. He's got 4 on the year, but he couldn't haul it in before Warford finally made the catch.
And right now we have an injured Catholic player on the sideline as they're talking things over. They're telling him just stay put. He's already on the sidelines. Now he's on West Florida sidelines, but they're talking things over right now as it looks like that's number 2, A.J. Yates, the all-around player. He plays quarterback, wide receiver, does everything. Just an overall athlete. It's been a big part of the team, and it looks like they're going to work on him on the sidelines over here with West Florida.
He wants to go back to his friendly sidelines, but he doesn't want to stay over here. That looks like they're looking at his forearm, which is good news.
And these two teams, both these coaches, have so much respect for each other. Teams work their whole entire careers. There's a lot of coaches that never even sniff a chance at being ranked in the top 5 in the state. Both these teams at one point when they battled a couple years back, like we said, number 1 and number 2 overall in the whole entire state. So they've been there. They have seen the big games in front of each other before, and I'll tell you what, a lot of mutual respect from both of these coaches on the sidelines.
Carroll's out of the shotgun. Takes the snap and drops back. Carroll hit from behind as he throws, and the pass falls incomplete, looking for Ackermite.
You know, one thing I've noticed with Carroll, though, is he is definitely a tough guy back there. He's only 5'10", 155 pounds. And he is not afraid to take the hit. And I know that. I wasn't a big guy when I used to get hit by a lot bigger guys than I was, breaking my collarbone and ending a career real quickly. But J.C. Carroll's a guy that you can see right there. He was pressured by 2 defensive ends coming at him, and he still maintained at least enough poise to make that throw. It wasn't a completion, Tommy, but give this kid a lot of credit. He is a tough competitor at quarterback.
5 wide. And once again, West Florida jumping off sides. That'll be encroachment, but all Scott was the one that jumped early. Train passes by.
High. Maybe he thought the train was the snap count right there.
Almost seemed like that's on the whistle.
Right there on the train. The conductor got him. 5-yard penalty on the conductor.
Prior to the snap, encroachment, defense. Still second down.
I'll give the number, but that was Vidal Scott was the one that got in there a little early. There's that train.
There's that train. 5-yard penalty on that conductor right there.
Going by the baseball field back there.
Mm-hmm. We got rock climbing over here. We got trains. It's a fun night. Play with the rock climbing. Do not play with the train, kids. If you're out there listening, just saying.
J.C. Carroll's out of the shotgun. Wanted to pitch it. Instead holds it. Carries it. Carroll will take a hit. Get out across the 10-yard line before he was dropped by Miles Green, who scooped up the muffed kickoff earlier and scored the touchdown. The Jaguars.
Let's see how many train references we can use on this drive. Tommy, he just stayed on the right tracks there up the middle.
First and goal to go for the Catholic Crusaders.
I'll let you. That'll be a competition amongst yourself.
Carroll's doing a great job on this drive conducting the offense.
It's first and goal inside the 10. J.C. Carroll trying to engineer a nice drive here for the Crusaders. Up the middle, Carroll inside the 5.
Didn't get derailed there. Good job up the middle.
Second down and goal from the 5. Got a few more.
He's
on the tracks here.
If they can anchor this caboose right up the middle, if they can get the ball in tonight, this is a goal.
Abram Smiley's in the backfield. Try to get this train back on the track. There's Smiley to the outside. Smiley close to the end zone, stop short.
Right through the defender right there, as you can see. Just a big run there by Smiley. They're going to continue to give Smiley some looks. This guy's a freshman, and he's fun to watch. Already 800 yards over his last 6 games. Oh, we talk about Michael Carter, and he's hurt right now for Navarre, but all the looks he's getting. Abram Smiley's a guy that you talk about doesn't have the biggest size. He's only 5'10", 185 pounds, but how many freshmen walk in are the biggest man on campus? I'll tell you what, when this guy, by the end of his career here, or wherever he plays, this guy is something special.
He's going to get some big looks. We talked about Ethan Watson, the left tackle. This one up the middle again. Abram Smiley barreling forward, stopped about a yard short. It's going to bring up 4th and goal from about the 1-yard line for Catholic. So now if you're Greg Seibert, you go for it here. You take the 3 points. It's not really going to have much bearing on the outcome of the game. You're down 33. What's the difference between being down 33 or down 30 at this point? So you probably go for it here on 4th down. But I want to go back. I was talking about Ethan Watson. You talk about scholarship guys. Ethan Watson has a standing offer right now from Troy. He's expected to get more through the offseason. He's had a big year on that offensive line for Catholic. His brother is Colby Watson, who's on the O-line at Central Florida. Nowhere on 4th and goal. Smiley hit and dropped in the backfield. They lost yards. And West Florida will take over on downs. We'll go to break. 33-point lead for West Florida. You're watching Friday Night Rivals on WFGX TV 35. On the ground. Big yards on the ground with new running back Jordan Jones in there. We've seen Jalen Allen and Marquise Ross getting the majority of the carries, but now leading by 33. Under a minute left here in the 3rd quarter. It's Jordan Jones, the senior, getting some playing time, getting a few chances to carry. They'll throw it out to the right side. It's complete to Mike Moore, who's upended by Evan Juneau. We've talked about a couple of times tonight, our Alexander Shinara A+ athlete. Tell you what, Juneau was a part-time starter last year. He's an everyday starter now for Greg Seibert's Crusader defense. Gets it done in the classroom, as we talked about earlier. Gets it done on the field, too. Antoine's out of the shotgun. Hands it off. Shakes one tackle out near the 30-yard line. That play again, Jordan Jones, the senior.
Good tackle there by Simeon Smiley. Smiley making a mistake on special teams a few plays back, but good to see him still playing hard out there in the field. That was a nice tackle. They will move the chains for a 1st down, and this will be the final play here of the 3rd quarter as the clock's starting back up. And we're off to the 4th quarter. The Jags at one point, 7-7 have reeled off now 33 straight points, Tommy, and looking impressive here at Woodham.
Yeah, they are. They pretty much took Catholic out of it. From the time they scored their 2nd touchdown, Catholic just hasn't been able to get that offense cranked up like we saw them in their first possession. 33-point lead. West Florida leads it. We go to the 4th quarter. You're watching Friday Night Rivals on WFGX TV 35. It is 40-7 in favor of West Florida. Jaguars have it 1st down and 10 from their own 30. They fake the give and swing it out right side. The pass is complete to the outside for a 1st down. Well, no, far cry from a 1st down, but it's complete to the outside to Tibbs Carrington. Downstairs now to Ricky. Maybe. Ricky, you there? I will check back with Ricky a little later. There she is.
We're
now
here.
You're there.
Sorry, we're just chit-chatting with all the Jaguars fans. We are at the booth where they have all of the supplies to make you look like the appropriate gear for the Jaguars at West Florida High School. There are hats. Oh, we missed, but we really tried for it. They're really making good plays out in the field. It's not going well on the sidelines, but on the field it's going really well. But they have lots of stuff. They have their program and their cheerleading pom-poms and their flags for your cars. So they're selling a lot of inventory tonight. Things are going well on the sidelines in that department and on the football field. They're getting some points. Score is 40-7. Back to you guys in the booth.
Thanks, Ricky. Maybe a face mask there as the carry goes to the outside to Darius. Is that a Darius Purifoy in there? How about that? Purifoy seeing his first action in a long time at least. Certainly looks like that's a Darius Purifoy in there. They didn't expect him back this week. They expect him back next week, but at least he's wearing Purifoy's number.
That's number
anyways.
5, yeah.
I don't know that that's a Darius, though.
Yeah,
be a little surprised. Handoff up the middle. Big yards on the ground once again for Jordan Jones.
We've seen a couple number switches there. If it is Purifoy, then welcome back. They could use him back out on the field in this one, but up by 33 points. It is not Purifoy from what we've heard here on the sidelines. We'll check. We'll make sure on that. But Purifoy is number 5 in our books. You wouldn't probably see him if they're going to use him at this point, coming back off an injury, Tommy. You wouldn't see him coming in up 33.
Hand off to Jordan Jones up the middle. And that's out to the 15-yard line.
Purifoy said, look, I need to get to a quota on my number of yards this season, so here's my jersey, guys. Pick up at least 30 for me here tonight.
He's got to bring up second down, 4 yards for the first down from the 19. Handoff left side. On his feet to the outside, now to the end zone. Touchdown, Jaguars. Devin Abrams with the score.
Tell you what, right there, Abrams looking very elusive out there, breaking a couple plays as we take a look here at the Bob Tyler Toyota replay, breaking one tackle, whoop, another juke right there and into the end zone. A 25-yard run. We're seeing a couple of the backups getting an opportunity here, but I'll tell you what, Abrams with plays like that, you're going to see a lot more PT here tonight.
Understand that number 5 is Amir McDaniels, wearing number 5. So Amir McDaniel.
Josh Taze right now, the linebacker, getting checked on the field with an injury. He's going to go over to the sidelines, get checked out, but able to walk off the field on his own, so that's the good news.
That is a good sign. We're told that McDaniel, just a freshman that they've pulled up to varsity for the day, so no doubt a thrill for him. Trying to make it a 47-7 lead.
And I did just look on the sidelines. There is number 5 Purifoy. It's a T-shirt. He has a number 5 T-shirt over there, but he is walking the sidelines. So, and he is in a pair of, it looks like shoes that definitely would not be suitable for football.
That's going to go as a blocked kick, it looks like. Hayden Broussard getting in there to block the extra point attempt. So it'll stay 46-7. 39-point advantage. West Florida has the lead. 9:56 left in this one from Woodham Middle on Friday Night Rivals and WFGX TV 35. That's a 39-point advantage. West Florida has been pretty much in cruise control here tonight. They scored right at the end of the first quarter to go up by a touchdown, and they haven't looked back since. It is a short kick, bringing it out for Catholic, kind of, on a very, looked like apprehensive return, Blake Foss.
And it's crazy how things can, over time, develop. I remember 2 years ago on the sidelines watching I was on the sidelines watching West Florida just as a fan, as a spectator. It was a game before the season had ever started, just a scrimmage. West Florida was taking on Washington. I remember looking at this kid coming on the field, and I asked at the time, he's now coaching with Tate, but asked one of my friends over there, Coach David Tanner, you know him as well, and I asked him, who's this guy over here? And he said, it's Devin Abrams. He's young, he's got a lot of speed. And I said, this guy's going to be talented. He's still a sophomore, but you can see that last play. This guy, he's got some true talent coming up here soon, and you can see when he gets his opportunities, he's going to be something special.
That pass is too tall, incomplete for KT, as he's known, Carrick Teamer. Receiver on the outside, but it's incomplete. Teamer got a little banged up last week, cleared to play this week, though. He's fine. Nothing that you don't experience throughout the course of a season. Everybody's banged up at some point. By the way, the clock will continue to run from this point forward, so you may be wondering, well, that was an incomplete pass. Why didn't the clock stop?
Someone screaming at their TV, stop it!
It's not going to at this point. Drilled as he throws, but the pass incomplete again for Teamer. Darius McWilliams got in there and put a pretty good hit on J.C. Carroll.
Well, and there's that deep ball that we were asking for. So taking the shots downfield now, and why not, if you're going to go to the guy, go for your 6'3", 200-pound target freshman. You're going to talk about a couple guys here for a long time. When you look at the Crusaders, Abram Smiley, a freshman, already with over 125 yard per game average, and Carrick Teamer, one of their leading guys that you know has D1 talent written all over him. So a couple freshmen already making a huge impact this season for the Crusaders.
Short pass there to Teamer falls incomplete. It's going to be 4th down.
And they're getting the ball out there. This offense still trying out there. J.C. Carroll, he's managed the system very well over the last few weeks, but we talked about it. This is a West Florida defense that we've seen now twice here, and both games they played, they have just been really tough. When they, especially here at home, this is a squad that they don't give up too many touchdowns, and you can see it's not just that defensive front with pressure. It's that senior linebacking core, and then, like we said, those ball hawks in the backfield like Tino Espinoza. This is a very, very good defense out here for Harry Lee's squad.
They'll punt. Majeski gets it away, and it'll land at the 37. Take a Catholic bounce back to the 28. Next week, West Florida travels to Bay. Talked about Darius Purifoy being out. He broke his arm in a couple of places. They figured he might be out for the year, but he's going to return still with a little time left, even some district play. They've only played one district game so far. But he'll be back in that Bay game. They expect him to play in that. Now, he may not start, but he'll probably be back. He won't be a quarterback when he plays in that game. Probably expect him to play sparingly, but he will be back when they play, and probably back at quarterback as well when they play PHS in a couple of weeks. Timeout on the field. We'll break with them 46-7. It's West Florida with the lead. Academy Sports and Outdoor 1st and 10 here for West Florida. This is a great rivalry game. You've got a score there on the Lindsay Bowl.
Yeah, we do. Right now it's a close one. In pace, Tate right now with a 28-21 lead. So Jay, the son, getting the best of Mickey so far, but that one is still in the 3rd quarter, so still some time in that matchup.
A lot of offense in that one. This is not Purifoy. Instead, it is Amir McDaniel, who runs a little bit like Purifoy there, escaping a tackle and turning a broken play into some positive yards. In fact, picked up 6 out to the 35.
Good job, all the guys that have come in here. We've seen West Florida rotate about 9 different guys at the running back and wide receiver position here tonight, and they've all come in and look good doing it. Some of the other scores in the area, Crestview right now with a 15-6 lead over Milton, and just got the score update, Liberty 16, Northview 7, as well as Walton with a 35-3 lead right now against Gulf Breeze.
End off once again up the middle. This time Marquise Ross, who we've seen quite a bit in this game tonight. He was sharing the duty early with Jalen Allen. Gets a carry late in this one. 5:20 to go. That clock will continue to roll. Running clock the rest of the way.
Navarre with a 2-touchdown lead right now on Escambia. Last time we checked, that one in the 3rd quarter.
They run to the outside. Jordan Jones trying to turn the corner. With a defender around his ankles, still dives out towards midfield.
Jones with a shoestringer right there for an extra couple of yards. It took about 3 or 4 Catholic defenders to get him down. As we take a look here at the West Florida sideline, doing a great job here tonight. This has been a balanced attack, but I'll tell you what, really, when you look at it, Javen Jackson's been the star, but when you look at this running attack here tonight, over 250 yards on the ground, Tommy, they've done an excellent job.
And speaking of yards on the ground, some big yards here on the ground out to the 30. Huge carry for Devin Abrams out to the 29-yard line.
And I'll tell you what, we talked about it here as we take a look at the Bob Tyler Toyota replay. Great hole up the middle, parting it for Abrams up the middle. But Abrams able to pick up about 7 extra yards after contact, putting his head down. Like we said, this kid is a sophomore. We've already seen him score once here tonight. He's got some special talent.
1st and 10 for West Florida. New quarterback in, by the way, for the Jaguars. They have gone to their backup, Cody Smith, who played a little bit last week, or 2 weeks ago, against Gulf Breeze when Eric Antoine got hurt. Handoff again up the middle. Once again, Devin Abrams, after the 20-yard carry on the play prior, eats up 5 more yards out to the 25 on 1st and 10. 2nd and 5 now for the Jags.
Just over 3 minutes remaining in this one, and as you can see right now, West Florida they'll continue to run the football. But give it up to that offensive line up front here tonight, really coming through. They've not had an easy job here tonight. They've been involved in a lot of plays, including, if you go back to that first quarter, Tommy, ending the first quarter with a 15-play drive, able to pick up 80 yards on that one.
They fake the handoff. Instead, Cody Smith keeps it, tucks it up the middle, close to the 20. Stopped a yard short of the 21. Talking about West Florida moving forward now, they've got to deal with Bay. Arnold still on their schedule, PHS and Washington still to go, so a lot of big conference games, district games coming up for this West Florida team. But I think it's safe to say that they've made positive strides. This is a much better West Florida team than the team we saw back in week 2 against Tate.
Tenfold, and now they're going to move to 3-3, but this is a much better team than their record shows. They had a couple tough losses by a few points early in the season, one to Escambia. But when you look at this team overall, they can compete with anyone. You talk about the big players here in the area, Tate, Escambia, teams like Navarre. You put this West Florida defense, and they can match with any team pound for pound.
4th and 4. See if Harry Lees and his second-team offense will try to go for it here. You look at their schedule. It's been a tough schedule. Escambia is very good. Tate, good team this year. They picked up the win over Gulf Breeze. Mosley, that was a loss. They went to Cairo and won that game. I mean, this has not been an easy schedule for them this year.
Not at all. That lady up is very excited about the band as well.
Yeah.
She had a smile. It's a free concert right there. Yeah, it was absolutely.
Handoff up the middle. They have the first down on 4th. And inside the 10 with the carry, Devin Abrams, the sophomore, picks up more big yards. At a 20-yard carry before. Now he gets about 15 yards. Flags everywhere, though, out in the middle of the field near the 10, actually between the 10 and the 15. Minute 30 left in the game, and the clock, even with flags, will continue to roll here.
On the offense, spot foul. Still 4th down.
James Cable and his crew doing a great job here tonight, though. This has been a game sometimes when the scoreboard on one side starts going one way. It gets a little bit chippy there from the other side, but they have done an excellent job throughout keeping this game under control, and great sportsmanship shown on both sides of the field.
Handoff. Big fella gets the carry up the middle. And that play, they give it on the ground. Look how fired up Ryan Berthume is. And he was close to the first down. Did he get it? He thinks he did. They're looking. Ryan Berthume, 5'7", 205-pound senior getting the carry.
He's a senior. He's pushing forward. Look at him giving it these.
Yeah, we got that first down. They'll give it to him.
He's the most excited guy out there. Look, he's still jumping out there. He says one more touch.
That's going to be it. Clock continues to roll. That'll be the final play of the game. They had a flag down, but they'll wave that off.
And that will be the final play. Look at Berthume over there. He's giving everybody. You see this. Hopefully, that was Purifoy going up. Hopefully he doesn't injure himself again on that one. But he's getting some, look at that. Look at the team over there in the bottom right-hand corner. Berthume obviously doesn't get too many touches, but everybody picking up the first down. He can always tell his kids one day, I ended the game with the first down.
So that's it. West Florida cruises to the 39-point win today over Catholic here on Friday Night Rivals. Certainly a good step forward for this West Florida team. We'll take a look at our player of the game coming up after this one tonight. Plus, we'll hear from Harry Lees, the victorious coach here tonight. He'll be joined by Ricky Van here momentarily. Chad, great showing offensively by West Florida tonight.
It really was. This was a well-balanced attack here tonight, and a quarterback in Eric Antoine that we've seen grow over the last couple weeks.
We'll talk with Harry Lees next. 46-7 the final. Friday Night Rivals on WFGX TV 35. 39-point win tonight for West Florida. They take care of Catholic. Ricky Vance downstairs standing by with the winning coach, Harry Lees.
Coach, what do you have to say about the game? Your boys are right behind you.
You know, great win for our guys. You know, we challenged to be physical, and really that was, to me, that was the difference in the ball game. Our guys just really, both sides of the ball went after it, and we told them to keep swinging the sledgehammer, and they did. And you know, real proud of our performance. You know, we were due, and hopefully we can build off of this going into districts.
Now you have Bay next week. How are you guys going to prepare?
Just keep doing what we're doing, try to cut down on our mistakes. You know, kicking game, we saw a few mistakes there, and you know, we just got to clean some things up.
Okay, so we have a trophy for you all for being our Friday Night Rivals winners, so congratulations. And as they celebrate, I'm going to kick it back to the guys in the booth.
All right. Thanks, Ricky. Great win tonight for West Florida. You know, that one feels good. Of course, week 2, they lost to Tate 17-3. They get a little revenge tonight with a win over Catholic. Remember, Catholic had beaten them 3 times in a row, including twice a couple of years ago. Now it's West Florida that's won the last 2 meetings between these 2 teams. Always good when you know it always feels good when they beat a rival.
Tommy, this was an emotional win here for West Florida. Coming off the bye week, they had a lot of time to prepare, and you could see tonight this was the type of team that whoever they played, definitely it was not going to be easy. What a great game overall. Balanced defensively, coming up with big stops, and I believe they didn't have to punt here tonight.
No, they did not. Let's take a look at our player of the game tonight. It's brought to you by Hill Kelly, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram. It is Javen Jackson. Did it all tonight. Had a rushing touchdown, had a receiving touchdown, ended up actually with 3 touchdowns tonight in the game. Javen Jackson got it done both on the ground and receiving as well. There's the rushing touchdown. Just a huge game tonight for Javen Jackson.
And look at these plays. We've seen 4 plays here in the highlight film, and every one of them has been tough. He was elusive all night, breaking tackles, juke moves out there, hard catches on the sidelines. Tommy Jackson, this was a showcase game where you put together a 2-minute clip and you can use this to show a lot of colleges.
Yeah, he did a lot of good things tonight. West Florida, I think, took a huge step forward with their offense tonight.
Absolutely. This was a huge win right here. Harry Lees can only be pleased with how he was able to put together just an incredible performance in front of the home crowd here tonight.
Not exactly how Catholic drew it up, but in the end, it's West Florida that picks up the win tonight. Harry Lees and his Jaguars improve to 3-3. Next week, we're going to be at Escambia. Once again, we'll have Jay Lindsay's Tate Aggies going against Escambia. Should be a fun one there. Our first look at the Escambia Gators this year.
And that actually spells out Tate. T-at-E. I'm just pointing that out as well. There you go.
Get the highlights from this game and all the other games from around the area tonight on Prep Football Final. Of course, that's at 11 o'clock after Channel 3 News at 10 o'clock. That's all the time for tonight. My thanks to Daniel Hemme, everybody in the truck, also for Ricky Van, Chad Berlante. This is Tommy Thrall saying thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. We'll talk to you next week from Escambia with Friday Night Rivals on WFGX TV 35. Good night.